I mean,
Dinner of champions.
Maybe
right
maybe we'll talk about this a little bit more.
Let's save it for the review.
Save it,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no. So
that
Sarah,
was gold.
Sarah that was her first trip, and I had to top off, and she didn't dig. She didn't dig being on the road. She was laying down and whimpering, and I'm like, maybe I made a mistake. And then we got up there, and she was skittish with everybody, and then we got out in the trail, and it was funny. Like, I looked back to check on her, and she was like ear-to-ear smile, just looking at the trees and looking up, and she loved it. And like I said, she only fell. She's sure-footed. She only fell one time, and it was just we were sitting still, and it was in 4 low, and it just lurched, and she wasn't ready.
Right.
So now I just tell her to sit, and if she'll sit, and we go, and she's good. So.
Yeah, what's up, Ron? Hope you had a good day on the trail today. Mike, what's happening? Troy.
He brushed a tree.
He brushed a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you take some paint to it? No.
White paint.
What's up, Christina?
It was a mirror.
What's up, Matthew? Oh, man, I don't know about you, but having weekends off, I'm tired now.
You need a weekend for your weekend.
I know.
Yeah.
I always need a weekend for my weekend.
I don't think they'll.
That's what Mondays are for.
I know.
I don't think they'll get into that, will they?
I sleep Monday.
What's up, Kristen? Maybe Will's there too.
Guys should be teachers. That's Monday's movie day.
Right. I think it's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start recording all my screen work, all my work that I do on my computer.
Just put it on loop.
Just put it on loop. And so when people are behind me, it looks like I'm doing something. Yep, I'm out. I'm already using noise canceling headphones. I've already had people come up behind me and try to talk to me.
Yeah,
I didn't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
But doesn't matter. All right, let's see if we can.
Did you start writing?
Yeah.
Have you actually got down and dirty already?
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
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 No. Yeah.
No.
No.
No. Let's do.
Oh, Neil, we were just talking about you.
Hey, Neil.
We had a good time.
We did. He knows that park. Whew.
Dude, he does know that park.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This is the first time I got to wheel with him.
Until he cuts down Trail 112.
That wasn't his fault, though.
Or 114.
114.
Yeah. No, it was funny because his blue dot showed him at the intersection.
Right.
At 112 and 114.
Matt Brica is slacking.
Yeah, him and I were talking.
He was
about
already, a good 100 yards, 150 yards into Trail 114.
I want to go wheel with him with a small group. I couldn't really focus on him and hang out because we just had so much going on, and I suck at multitasking. But I had a good time wheeling with him.
It's interesting because I've wheeled with both in small groups, and you two remind me of each other.
Yeah, I could
out there.
I could spend a day wheeling with Neil. I have a tremendous amount of respect for him, and he's a hell of a wheel man. So love it, and I love his Jeep.
I was going to say he knows that Jeep inside and out.
Yeah, and it's not. And I'm not knocking big builds, but it's not a huge build. It's just a great all around trail Jeep, and he knows how to wheel it, and so.
And he and I joke all the time because he and I generally are the small guys.
Right.
When we go out.
Yeah, I mean it's similar to our
2.5.
Yep.
Right, just the same way, 35s.
Yep.
So we're very similar in that.
Yep. Yeah. I definitely would wheel with Neil again. That was my first time wheeling with him, and actually, I wouldn't mind seeing if we go out, a couple of us before the fall trail ride to get some trails down.
Yeah, I'd love that.
I wish he'd.
OD Dark Lord
What?
on the YouTubes.
Huh?
Just ask a question. What off-road radios do y'all recommend, good sirs?
I haven't figured them one out yet.
The Motorola.
The Motorola ones that Neil has?
Those are.
Oh, man.
I'm using the Baofeng, which is the rugged radios.
Yours is in the car.
Copy. Works fine. The downside is I literally have to program I have to find out what frequency the channel needs to be in. So when we switched from 22 to 20 yesterday, I literally had to take a moment and Google that. Scott, you're right. Those are in the Midlands. Not the Motorola, the Midlands.
Yeah.
If you could, throw the model number, because I was going to text you today and get the model number.
I checked that they're on Amazon. They're $69 on Amazon.
And that's for a set of 2.
For a set of 2.
Right.
And,
I think $100 for a set of 3 or something.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna pick a set of those up. I want to put a permanent in the Jeep at some point, but for now I'm gonna pick a set of those up, because that was.
Scott, man, throw the model number up in the chat for me, so I can get that out to OD Dark Lord. That's a cool.
That is a cool
handle.
Yeah,
OD Dark
I like that.
Lord. Definitely
creative. It's better than the shit I come up with.
Right. Mine's usually Terry 123.
Yeah. Or mine's like Jeep.
Jeep 1969 _S.
Yeah, right.
What's up, Dave? Yeah, I had heard that, Dave, that Midland had a deal going on at the Jeep Invasion, and I should have wandered over there, but I was way too busy.
Nice.
Midland GXT 1000. That's a shitty name too.
Yeah, it is.
Midland GXT 1000.
They hire people like me to come up with this creative creative names.
Right. It needs to be, the off-road. What kind of?
You're asking the wrong person.
I don't know. OD Dark Lord, come up with a really cool name for the Midland GXT 1000. Billy Bovary looking at pictures. Did you find one?
No, I just hit a couple trees today.
Oh, you did?
Straight up just tire, tree, impact, stop dead.
Oh, my God.
Trees are tough.
Oh, I think I broke one. Or 2.
Oh, did you?
There may have been some front wheel off the ground action today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Waving.
Well, Neil had
his
rear tire off the.
Oh, he did. Yeah. He was. And kudos to him. Most people would have panicked, steered that right into the wall, or.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I think he would have made it down that if he would have went right, and
if he would have hit hard passenger with a steering and went ahead and let gravity do its thing.
Yep.
I think he could have went down,
especially with that being a manual, so it's low and first, and he's re-geared 456s and just let it do its thing. I think it would have been all right.
Yep.
But it wasn't a bad decision either to yank it out.
No, and it was good. We wanted to do some recovery stuff too. Yeah, Eric, he could have made it down. He could have made it down. I'm glad we erred on the side of caution.
Yeah.
It kind of killed 2 birds, 1 stone. But yeah, I think he could have. He could have.
He stopped dead at the top.
And I think he knew that too. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I think it was just like you said, we erred on the side of caution.
Yeah, and sometimes we have to err on the side of caution, and that's okay.
Yeah. I the whole thing was that wasn't the day where we wanted to, taking big chances.
That wasn't our primary focus out there. Was off-roading. That was our secondary, and we'll talk a little bit about that once we get into the show. How we feeling about hitting that start button? Do we feel good about that?
Let's do it. Hit it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, before we do that, let's talk about some of our partners, and our partners are amazing. ArmorLite is, in my opinion, the best partner in the world to have. All the others are fantastic, but I just love those guys at ArmorLite. They've given us a discount code JeepLifePodcast10, and you get 10% off of any of their full systems that you order from them. They are fantastic, and I can't say enough good things about them. Don, I just saw your flooring in.
Yeah. Oh my God!
You got that done this week?
It is. I put it in. I put it in this week, and it is like night and day. So, first of all, the how it feels on your feet was like the biggest thing. It's soft.
Yeah.
It's not like it's legitimately soft.
No, that's what she said. But it's so funny because it is a really, and this is what she said moment, but it's stiff when you're putting it in.
Right.
But I knew it was good.
You said boner.
But you're right. Once you get it in and it's comfortable on your feet. It's not hard on your feet.
It is. Yep. Now, I haven't driven the Jeep with the top. The top's been down all week.
Okay.
So I don't know about noise or anything like that, but it was cool on the trail. I didn't have any, heat or on the road up. And it just looks awesome.
It really does. I love the orange drain plugs.
I know. So that's my new accent color.
I was going to say,
yep.
That's it. That kind of set the standard for the rest of the build.
I mean,
right?
I'm not doing trim and stuff like that, but all the vinyl on the Jeep is going to be that orange. And,
nice.
And I think that's what I'm going to do. I dig that color with that rhino gray.
I bet I could come up with the exact chroma color with that for you, so that you could match it.
Yeah,
going forward. Yeah, right. I think I know a people or two about that.
Perfect.
Our next is power tank, and man, if you want to air up your tires faster than anything else on the business,
20 seconds from 16 psi to 28 psi.
Oh wow, you
on
timed
a
it today.
35-inch tire with 18-inch rims.
Oh, cool. Was there any air left in the tank?
Yes,
when it was done.
A little bit.
Cool.
No, there's, I think, decent amount still in there.
Excellent. So power tank, Jeep Life Pod 15 is your discount code on that. You go to their site and put Jeep Life Pod 15. They're going to give you 15% off of a full system.
I was scraping the bottom this weekend using compressed air.
Yeah, I saw you and
Lexi's like, what's this? What are we doing?
She had no idea
because she's like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, she had no idea because she's done nothing but the power tank, which is awesome.
I know.
But yeah, they're amazing, and I love them, and I thank them for being a partner of ours. Yeah. Pipes, man, I can't say enough.
The exhaust sounded good in the trail.
It does sound good on the trail because you're behind me most of the time.
Yeah, it sounded good.
So Pipes has free shipping for the Jeep Life, and it's just use the Jeep Life as one word in their code, and you get free shipping on that. I'm going to skip this one because we're going to talk about it exclusively a little bit later. Rockslide Engineering, man, they make good stuff.
I was staring at Eric's.
Dude, I'm telling you, every time he opened the door.
Yeah, I know. I stared at everything at that Jeep. It's like,
and
I told you, if I had that Jeep, it'd be all fucked up.
Didn't your mom teach you that staring isn't nice?
I don't care. I don't care. But I was like I'm staring at its coilovers, and I had to put my hands in my pockets so I wouldn't start adjusting.
I know, right? We talked about that. All right, this is hot off the presses. Hot. So I'm gonna finish up our Rockslide Engineering, but it has a discount code Jeep Life 10. Rockslide Engineering has a discount code, but you're right. I would be tinkering with those adjustable shocks nonstop. We talked about that.
I know. I'm like, while we're there, I'm like, where's the spanner wrench?
I know.
It's not that easy to like.
No, I know it's not, but you don't understand. I have a fascination with coilovers.
He would adjust them, ride them around for a little bit. Oh, that's nice. What happens if I do that?
By the end of the day, it'd be sitting crooked. And
it would. All right. So here's hot off the presses. A partner of ours. We've talked about them. We've done a giveaway. They're actually going to give
multiple giveaways.
We've even had them at our live events to give away stuff. Off-camera lighting, 20% off. Jeep code Jeep Life Podcast. So you want to get some off-camera lighting, and that pin light.
That is awesome.
You use that.
I use it so much.
Like literally, we'll be standing around doing something, and then we need light. That thing's out. I don't know where you get it from. I don't know where you get it from. And that pin light's out.
You don't want to know where he gets it from.
But off-camera lighting, go to their website, and it is that code is Jeep Life Pod. I will put that in the show notes.
It literally is the size of a pen. It's like the size of an Apple Pencil. It's actually a little smaller than an Apple Pencil.
Yeah, and our thanks to them for everything they do.
Absolutely.
They're awesome people as well. And then our last one today, and we're going to talk about them a little bit later, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. Treadlightly.org, great organization. Our listeners get 50% off of their $50 and $100 memberships. There is a steps to follow in the show notes, so make sure you follow those. And wow, good business. We're going to talk about
organization is awesome.
Yeah, we're going to talk
people
about
there
them.
are awesome, and what they're doing is awesome.
So make sure you go and do that because it does nothing but good things for everybody. And to have 50% off of their $50 and $100
awesome.
thank you to them. Thank you to all of our partners. Man, I love what we do, but I love getting to hang out with our partners and meeting them and have them.
Yeah, it was cool to meet Evan in person and hang out and just really a cool dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Woo, I felt like that was 20 minutes of an hour episode, and we just did
we got a lot to go.
How you doing? We got a lot.
We put it in fast forward.
All right, I'm going to hit that pre-show.
Take it out of 4 low, buddy.
I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit it right now.
Is it considered 4 low if you're screaming in 3rd gear, wide open, hitting that skinny pedal?
Welcome to the Jeep Life Podcast. We're that Jeep Life Podcast where we ask those all-important questions. Is it really 4 low?
I think you're in gray area.
Yeah, you're definitely. There was a moment where I couldn't get out of 1st gear on the trail yesterday.
Oh.
It was kind of weird. So I know exactly what.
I was well into 3rd, screaming, tired, might be off the ground.
Yeah, well, dude, as always, I am joined. My name is Terry, and I'm the guy that sits in the center only because I'm the heaviest, and we have to equalize the boat.
He's our great leader.
He is.
I don't
Fearless leader.
Fearless leader.
Oh, I'm fearful sometimes. But anyway, welcome to the Jeep Life Podcast, and man, it's good to have you here. And as always, I'm joined by the 2 best hosts in the business. Don, man, I had so much fun with you yesterday.
It was awesome.
A good time.
That was probably one of my most memorable wheeling days, and not like we did crazy wheeling. It was just a good time with a lot of good people.
It was a feel good day, you know.
It was awesome,
and we're gonna dig into that a little bit. But good to have you in the studio.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you survived.
Yeah, man.
Good to.
I had a good co-pilot.
Yeah, you did.
We'll talk about it.
Sarah.
She's awesome. Just teach her how to spot.
I know, right? The spotting dog.
Yep.
She will spot, see, go. She'll chase.
I read that book.
I want to teach her. You know, to look. If we want to go right, look right. You know, and I just don't know. Like that's a lot of.
I don't trust a dog.
And she hops on the right.
She's smarter
rocks.
than I am,
probably.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And Bill, man.
What's up?
Dude, you were out on the trail today.
I did a lot of wheeling.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever heard of that many miles in a single day.
17.8.
Yeah, so basically 18 miles.
Yep.
You're out with listener Ron.
Yep. We were just cruising around, hitting all blues. We hit, I hit a black. I hit 12A. I hit Trail 10. I made a new trail. We kind of made a new trail. It's that creek bed.
All right, yeah.
So it's called Railroad Creek.
It's down by BA, right?
It's the bottom of Barney.
Yeah.
Railroad Creek. And it doesn't have a
Oh,
name.
I know what you're
right
talking
by
about.
Twister.
Yeah.
Just
Well, you can go
Twister.
through that. Like if you go down a little further, it actually dips down through that.
Yeah, that's where
it comes up the other side.
Yep. So we did that. We went out to Trail 17 over to Trail 12. Took Trail 12 all the way out to the Scenic Overlook. Went out Timbertown, checked out Upper Tax Bracket. I still can't find a line up that. I don't even know where it goes.
Yeah,
but
have you looked at it from
not
bottom
from
yet?
down bottom? So I gotta look
think
there.
that's the key. Is
right.
I don't even know how you get in there. Like, first of all, it's all overgrown.
It's really overgrown.
It's
out
of 12A. No,
I think it's
12B. Whatever that little 12 jump off
12D.
12D. It's
12D
out of there
black,
somewhere, yeah.
So it's right off that, but then we headed all the way back. We went out over to Trail 4, hit a whole bunch of blues over there, and then we hit Trail 9 out to BA Extension. We hit BA backwards.
So had they cleared out the Grand Cherokee?
No, that's still there.
It's still there.
So I just saw that
So you
today.
had to drive around it?
It's been there for a month.
Has it really?
Yeah, it was on Facebook today. There's guys looking for help.
Yeah.
To do what?
Get it out of there.
How?
Well, it was just a control arm bracket. So if you had a 12-volt welder, I mean, it wouldn't be a hard fix to get at least enough that you had
to
steering.
Get it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh. I'm sure it rolled the U-joints and stuff. I'm sure it's a mess underneath, but it wouldn't be a whole lot to get the axle back under it.
It is kind of an eyesore there.
It is. Yeah. I just don't have access to a welder, or I
couldn't throw it in the back of the JK on Saturday. It just wouldn't
fit.
Wouldn't fit. Had too many tires.
So true.
Neil gave us an update that it's just past Miner's Elbow, which is 12D, what we were talking about. Just past the exit. It's so overgrown, we would have to hike back there.
Right.
And then
figure it out. So it was just a lot of checking out, a lot of driving, a lot of wheeling. It was fun.
Oh, good. Well, welcome home.
Yeah. I'm tired.
Yeah. It's you know what? So not only are you wheeling all day, but you got to load and unload that thing, would take some energy. Yeah. You can tie it down and
I loaded it last night after I got home from dinner.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it's like,
those are a few drinks.
So I guess maybe not, because
after another 5 or 6 beers at home. So,
but maybe not, because we got to air up and put sway bar end links.
Right. Oh, this just I pull it on.
Yeah, I know, and then you tie it down,
strap it down with 4 straps.
It's not like we're just taking off. We're not taking off and going down the road.
He works more between times, but we work harder when we getting ours there, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna we between last week and this week, I didn't do a lot in the middle of the week.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a great weekend of getting out there. And Don, it was, I know that Quadratech and Tread Lightly have put this together, but it was a trail cleanup day at Anthracite Outdoor Adventure area.
Yep.
And Tread Lightly is really pushing that East Coast. They've got the West Coast on lockdown.
Yep.
They keep doing great work out there.
Yep.
But, trying to really get in, and I know Scott's a new tread trainer.
Yep.
He just recently got that certification, which is awesome. Good for him. He's worked really hard, and he, when you talk to Scott, you know his love for the outdoors.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're the same way.
Absolutely.
I mean,
so I just love nature. I love trees. I love it. Bothers me when I see saplings run over, and it's listen. It happens.
Sorry.
Accidents happen.
Accidents do happen.
Intentional
bullshit.
Just,
and the trash and the
sometimes the trails just aren't wide enough for me.
So I'm all about this. I really am. And I like hiking and stuff. I don't hunt. I don't fish anymore. I used to be an avid fisherman.
I do hate trees,
but
they're in my way.
I just. That stuff is so important to me. Well, you guys saw it. I rescued a potato bug off Mike Gonzalez's tent, so it wouldn't get trapped.
A what?
One of those potato bugs. They're like little weevils, but they're so when they get scared, they like fold their legs under them, and I feel horrible.
Yeah.
This little guy folded his legs under him. Like, hold on, don't fold it up. I'm crawling on his tent.
But we got a chance to spend the weekend, or some were out Friday. We were out on Saturday, and just went out and done great things. They printed out signs and had them ready, and they were basically. I have one in the studio.
I have your phone in my pocket?
Interesting.
But there's several of these.
Kelly Pritchard texting me.
It's Tread Lightly at AOA. So these signs were specifically built and designed for AOA.
They're awesome.
And it goes down and basically travel responsibly, respect the rights of others, educate yourselves, avoid sensitive areas, and then do your part. And that's what we all want to do, is do our part.
So that's the acronym for TREAD, for the first part of it, Tread Lightly.
Right. So it's great that Evan, he's the education and outreach guy for Tread Lightly, came out. He's been on the show.
Yes.
He was with Eric and Scott when they took over the show, those assholes, and tried to make it their own thing. I'll get them back for that. But no, they're good friends, and they've introduced us and brought us kind of into the fold. And Tread Lightly is a huge partner of ours. So, we had tires.
Yes.
There were tires everywhere.
Everywhere. Yep.
I don't know if we could we couldn't handle one more tire.
No.
Because the one extra tire we had.
There was one that was just an asshole, and it fell off the back of your Jeep, and then I stopped and picked it up, and it fell off of my Jeep like another 15 times.
I was going to say at least 15
It almost
times.
took out Eric's Jeep because we were...
This was the funniest thing ever.
Oh, it was hilarious. I'm heading up a hill.
Yeah.
It's just right around it was the pipeline where you go up for the pipeline, and I'm heading up. And we're kind of waiting around a little bit. And I was
it's a steep grade.
It is. I was just toiling around. I was idling up in first gear. And all of a sudden, Lexi's like, "Oh my God, the tire!" And I look in my mirror, and this thing's doing the downhill bolt. Like it's just, and it's bouncing. And here's Becker in overkill, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like
it's going to land on the hood.
It's gonna go right over the hood,
right.
you know. And so luckily he pulled out his like Starfleet Enterprise skills and somehow dodged it. But then Terry's at the bottom because there's other Jeeps at the bottom of that.
So I see it coming down the hill. I don't even know if I put it out of gear. I literally hopped out of the Jeep and was running over. I have no idea what I was thinking I was going to do with this tire that's coming down the hill.
And it was a tractor truck tire. It was an old tractor trailer tire.
And so I'm chasing it down, and I'm thinking if I can just tackle it, it'll be fine. It'll stop because the last thing I want
tackle it.
I don't know. But by the time I got close to it, it decided to turn.
So the fucker has its own mind. Like it made a right turn and went down another trail.
It did.
Whatever.
The cool thing about that is that it chose a trail that eventually went back uphill a little bit.
Right.
And that slowed it down enough to just topple over. But
Tackle it. Oh
I have no idea what I was going to do. I hear my Jeep's running. I don't even know if it's in or out of gear. And
it was so bad. I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to total like 4 Jeeps today.
Well, I just didn't want it hitting the parked Jeeps down
I know.
below.
Well, I seen it. I was like,
to continue on.
Oh my God, it would have. Could you imagine how fast it would have been going if it would have made it all the way down the pipeline?
Oh my God,
we would have been walking miles into the woods.
Yeah, no doubt,
pinging off trees. So I was like, oh my God, it's gonna. I'm gonna be responsible because all the rest of my tires were bungeed in. That was the one because I picked it up right before that in the trail.
Yeah.
Damn thing. And then every 10 minutes, I'm like, it's kept falling out of the back, and everybody's like, look, we're going.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your tire.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We had already decided we're going to go. And we see you off in the distance through the trees getting out and pick it up. I was like, he'll find his way.
We're not. Yeah, well, Scott's like, what the hell's the problem, man? It's just a tire. But it wasn't. It was like possessed by like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or something.
Ray, when somebody asks you if you're a god, you say yes. It was such a good day. And tires were everywhere, and I don't understand. The locals there must think, let's just take our tires into the woods and dump them.
Well, so Lexi and I were talking about that.
But they're not new either.
No, they've been sitting out there for a while.
Longer than the park's been there.
And it is really hard sometimes to get rid of tires. I mean, we struggle with it at the school. We're not a tire dealer. So, we usually have to find one of those places that does recycling because CJ Tires and all those tire places, even if we pay them, won't take them anymore. They're getting so hard to get rid of. So that's why a lot of that stuff's sitting out there. It hasn't changed for years.
So Tread Lightly has an arrangement, a partnership with, I think, BF Goodrich.
Right.
To get rid of old tires.
That's great to know. I mean, not that I would use it for the shop. Because
they've got a partnership. I don't know the details, and maybe when we should write this down that when Evan's here, we should talk to him about that because getting rid of old tires is a big deal. Because people just take them and dump them out there.
Yeah.
I know at one point Eric had like 9 tires around the back of his Jeep. It looked like an old tugboat.
It did. That was hilarious.
I saw that.
But we also brought out, I think, 6 or 7.
Like tractor
bags
tires
of trash.
and
but we brought out 6 or 7 bags full of trash. Bottles, you name it. It was there.
I found like a honey hole while we were waiting at Whaleback.
Yeah.
It was right off of where everybody parks, about 20 feet in the woods, and it was just like somebody emptied a garbage bag 20 years ago.
When I wheeled with Holly, we took out 2 bags of trash.
Yeah. Right. Every time I go, I take out trash. And I've been corrected. It is a Bridgestone partnership. It is one of the one of the larger tire manufacturers, and they tried it. They're good people. Their engineers are fantastic.
Yep.
So I want to compliment them and everything. And with we have a giveaway. Tread Lightly has done some awesome work in their self, but they've offered to give away to our listeners. We have three Quadratech Tread Lightly trash bags to give away. Go ahead and open that one up. This one is it is trail used, and if you want, I'll sign it with a black Sharpie.
Smells fresh.
That's where we put all our dirty underwear.
But these are the mesh trash bags that put on your spare tire to go out. We are going to give away 3 of those. Here's what I'm going to ask. I don't care who you are. I want you to get your Tread Lightly membership.
Yeah.
You get a Tread Lightly membership and email us the first 3 people that do that. You email us or tag us in Instagram. Do any kind of reach to us.
Yep.
And let us know that you have your Tread Lightly membership and you want one of those bags. I will personally pay for the shipping to get it to you. These bags are awesome. Tread Lightly gave them to us and said, here, give these to your listeners. So we're going to do that.
Yeah. And they're nice bags too. So, I mean, it's simple. It goes on real simple. And my first one I lost because I didn't put it on right. But, I had it figured out by the second one.
Yeah.
And, they work. They just work. They're simple. They're easy. It's a durable material.
Yeah, and
it's like a nylon.
If you throw something away in there that's got liquid in it and it leaks out or whatever, it's just going to leak right on
through.
out.
Even all the dust and the dirt, by the time you're off the trail, like
it's
it filters
all gone.
through the
And then I've taken mine to the car wash.
Wash it off and it's good to go.
Use the floor mat,
Well,
holder.
It's the same material as your sunshade.
It's exactly the same material.
Which we didn't get an email.
No.
And I'm kind of pissed.
Hey, Jack Wagons, get out there.
We're giving away
get your JL.
Free JL.
Sunshade. But I think Tread Lightly for giving us that.
Yeah.
We have another giveaway if you drive a 2-door JK. And you want red roll bar pads.
Yep.
Email me, tag me, do something.
We just got the giveaways going on right now.
We've got good people that are giving us stuff to give away. Take it off our hands. I won't And no, Don, you can't win any of this.
I know.
I know you were signing up for a second Tread Lightly membership as we were doing it. I know that's what you're
doing. Under my alias name.
Right. Speaking of Tread Lightly membership, somebody needs to sign up for that, but I'm not going to say who or point out any names. But anyway.
I don't like trees.
No, you don't. I need you, everyone, to tag us.
Just send us a damn email.
Get this. And put it on the back of your Jeep. Pick up some trash. That's all I ask you for, is to do that. Our thanks to Quadratech and Tread Lightly for making that happen.
And hey, listen, the other good part about that, it's semi-see-through, so if your license plate is on the back spare tire, screw it. You can almost see it.
Yeah, almost.
You're good.
It's close enough.
It's like Jeep. Scott's Jeep is almost blue.
Almost.
Almost. So you can almost see it.
It's kind of like my Jeep's almost gray.
Almost. But man, it was good to be out there, and I really love what Tread Lightly does. And hanging out with Evan, he's going to be on the show in September, so wait, and we'll have him on the show.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for Matt and Evan and some of the other people everyone, but I don't know everyone at Tread Lightly. But I have a tremendous amount of respect for what they're doing, how hard they work, how dedicated they are to it, how excited they are for it, and ultimately what they're doing, But that day for me was probably one of the most memorable days I had, just solely because I was with some good friends, which is always great. But just doing something for that park that means so much to so many people, myself included, just felt good. I didn't feel – I'm one of those people, I got to feel like I'm doing stuff for people, or I just feel crappy, and I didn't feel like I was just out wheeling.
Well, I got to ask, a couple questions while I was out there, and one of us, why do you want to do this? And my answer is simple. I spent my formative years in the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And being outside, and I want to be able to give the outdoors the way that I loved them to my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I want to be able to hand that off to her.
And I said that, I think, Saturday too.
Yeah.
I got small kids, and I want them. Or no, I remember when we were talking about it. There was that little guy that went by it was a young lady.
Yeah, yeah.
She couldn't have been 5 years old, sporting along on a four wheeler, one of those little mini 4-wheelers. And I said that's why we're doing this, for that generation, so that this is there for that generation to enjoy.
Yep. So our thanks to them. Man, what a great weekend, and keep up the good work. Tread lightly. We appreciate you. You and I rode together quite a bit, spent a lot of time in my Jeep this week, and we're trying to give away this Dirty Dog sunshade. How do you feel about the sunshade now after this?
I mean, I run a sunshade to begin with.
Yeah.
So I love them to begin with. So for me, I've always given it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
I love how it reduces the noise, the wind, just kind of a little bit of everything. The amount of sun you get, it keeps it probably 10 to 15 degrees cooler.
Oh, yeah. Remember when we got in for lunch? And we bould both put our arm on the armrest, and
it's
not
cool.
Get burnt.
It's so for me, it's always been a thumbs up. I've always loved them. The one that I like these more because they have these straps that like you kind of tighten down. It's not the bungees that get it all like stretched out, pulled out, this, that, and the other thing. This just locks in. It's real nice.
Yep.
I think they did a really good job with this. So I give it 2 thumbs up. I've always given it 2 thumbs up.
Perfect. And thanks to Dirty Dog. They're the ones that have given us the roll bar
pads too.
Dude, I was so excited to put those on my Jeep, and then I realized it's a 2-door. I got 4 of them doors. I got 4 of them doors.
I have 2 doors.
So I'm going to order a set of those for my Jeep, because my Jeep is the faded black
look.
It's
very faded.
So I'm going to order those. Mm-hmm. And our thanks to them for...
what do those look like? Do you have them here?
They're down here in the box.
Please. Now. Please. Now.
Please and thank you. But they're awesome. I mean, they look just like they belong, only these are in red. Yeah. So if they were in orange, that'd be perfect for you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know anybody made any of these.
Yeah.
Now
you do.
Awesome.
Now you
Good
do.
deal.
Yeah.
So we got all kinds of stuff to give away, and nobody to give it away to. What the hell, people?
Boxes and boxes
everybody must
of crap
have
down here.
everything
I guess,
they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done enough.
Single email.
First of all, what is our email?
Info INFO at Jeep JEEP. Look at the front of the vehicle you drive if you can't spell it.
So info was the tough part.
Info
Jeep
at Honda Civic.
Life.
JeepLifePodcast.com. But hit us up. We'll get this stuff out to you.
Yeah.
I want one email. I just want to give something away, damn it.
I want to give it all out. Tell me where we're going. We still have a little bit of business to do in the end of the summer here.
I don't know where we're going. Depends if Don's coming.
Don's coming. I'm
trying.
I've already said I'm going to duct tape his ass to one of our seats.
Okay.
It doesn't matter which one.
Sounds great to me.
So am I getting the duct tape all around the seat, or are we going to do the loops and just put it on the bottom?
just a little loops.
I think we should duct tape him in the seat of Reaper
on the trailer.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that. Open air ride to Tennessee. I'd be smiling the whole time.
No doubt.
Waving at people.
No doubt.
Just like around the chest.
You got to put one across my mouth, though, so when we get like across the state border, maybe we get hooked up with the state trooper somewhere.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it's
we're going to Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion the 26th to the 28th in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and we're going to go do a lot of wheeling.
Yeah.
Reaper X1.
This should be fun. It should be fun.
What?
Reaper times 1.
I don't know.
Or whatever. I don't know. I have a hard time.
Do you want to share that?
Just don't do it on an airplane.
Everybody saw that video, right?
That was great.
Yeah, that was funny.
I don't have it up. Oh, we're going places.
Girls Play at AOA and EJA are hosting their 2021 prom ride.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be there.
We're not going to be there. Nope.
But
Because it would be cute me being in a prom dress.
Yeah, it would be.
I might do that in Tennessee. Who knows?
You know where we are going to be, though?
Where are we going to be?
The New Jersey Fall Jeep Invasion.
Oh, yeah.
From October 2nd to the 3rd.
Yeah, that's a good time.
We had a blast. That's where Monkey Butler got introduced.
That was Monkey Butler met the world.
That's right.
That was Super Monkey Butler.
Yeah, so that's a good time, and the first day is at the Naval Air Station Museum in Cape May, and then the other day is on the boardwalk
in Ocean City.
So it'll be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Woo! All right. Come see us when we're out there. We have stickers to give away. We usually try to do an episode, and if you can watch us live, that's cool. Maybe we'll have giveaways, and we'll throw it out to the crowd. Who knows? But let's talk about some problems. What? Now, I have some lights in my dash that are me and Jeep have been chasing down. Me and the dealership have been chasing down. And that kind of got us all thinking about our systems management problems and solutions and what that can entail. And Dr. Don put together
Hold on, I got to log into shit over here. Now I got a two-factor identification.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
What the actual truck?
But it's not just the lights that come on in the dash, but it's everything,
so I think
right?
what we're going to do is get into that either next show or down the road. Tonight we're just going to talk about how the system works. I think and like you said, I've been seeing a lot of people, our JKs are getting older now. You know what I mean? So some of these JKs are hitting 100, not some, a lot of them are now 100, 150, 200,000 miles.
Christmas tree,
so
Christmas tree.
We're starting to see a lot more check engine light questions and things like that. So it's not an easy system. Like, I don't reply back, and it's not because I'm being an ass, but I don't reply back to a lot of people when they ask me or when there's questions put on Facebook. I mean, you can always throw out the smoking gun,
right?
Which is the common problems everybody has, but that's not a guarantee. Or just because the code says downstream oxygen sensor failure doesn't mean that
definitely your downstream oxygen.
It definitely does not mean that. So, it gets kind of complex. The systems are the engine management consists of inputs and outputs and a PCM. Okay, so
junction, what's your function?
Think of it much like our own body. So our brain being like the PCM, our nervous system being like the wiring system that carries it, and then inputs and outputs. So my example to everybody is this: if you walk over to a stove's on, and you put your hand on it,
it's hot.
And what do? If it's right on there, you can pull it right back.
Idiot.
Well, let's say you don't. It's one of those induction ones, and for whatever reason, it inducted on you.
It doesn't.
So anyway, you pull your hand away, right? So I mean, we have inputs. We have our senses: sight, smell, feel. Your brain then processes that stuff. You process what you felt, the burn. You smell your hand burning.
Oh, that smell.
You saw that it was hot after you put your hand on there, and you're going to pull away.
And you realize you're an idiot.
You pull right away. Okay, so.
Oh. Where's the pink helmet hanging over here? I'd put that on.
So you pull your hand away, right? So cars are the same way. We have inputs, outputs, and a PCM or
and
ECM.
Blinky flashy lights.
And blinky flashy lights, Mr. Engineer over here.
It tells you pull the hell over and your shit's all effed up.
I think he hit his head this week on this.
Oh, I hit those trees real hard today.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
There was crack down the center of one of them. I didn't mean to. It was
poor tree.
It was standing in basically the middle of the trail.
Well, then you go around it. A tree's been there longer than you.
Well, that was the screaming third gear skinny pedal when I got up to the top of the hill, and then it was like
25
tree.
miles an hour. And that's on, like, the main road.
The vehicle was going less than 25 miles an hour. The tire speed was not.
Oh, jeez.
The man's rock bouncing.
Yep.
So we got inputs and outputs, or actuators. And again, your PCM or ECM, brain of the system. So your inputs, now this isn't all of them. This is just the major stuff. Like next week, if I don't think we have a topic for next week, right?
AMSOIL.
Yeah, this.
AMSOIL is next week. So the week after that, we'll jump back on the check engine light portion of it. Okay, but for right now,
Jerry, if you're listening, get ready for next week.
The simple sensors. He duct tape his mouth shut for me.
I can't. I've been trying.
Look at me, he's over there. He can't control himself. O2 sensors. Okay, so probably one of the more important sensors in the engine management is your upstream oxygen sensor, not your downstream. That's for something else that we'll talk about next week. But your upstream oxygen sensor is what sets your short-term and long-term fuel your long-term adaptive memory. So here's the deal. These systems have the ability to learn, and it's in the beginning everybody used to say, oh yeah, it learns how you drive, and if you have a heavy foot it'll adapt to that, and it does a little bit, but that really wasn't the reason why the manufacturers had done that. The reason why manufacturers had done that is so that these cars would continue to run well after they got older. So years ago, we had to change plugs every 20,000, points every 20,000 or 30,000 miles. We had to do, adjustments on the carburetor. We don't do that anymore. These cars all can adjust. Now, I mean, we're doing spark plugs. There's still some copper spark plugs in some vehicles, standard spark plugs. But for the most part, even with those spark plugs, they'll go 50, 60,000 miles, even after the gap opens up to twice what it is, because the ECM can adjust to an extent.
Yeah.
So, and part of that is the long-term adaptive memory in the vehicle, and that's what the oxygen sensor does. So, tells the PCM what the oxygen content is and uses almost all cars now are using something called a wideband system. And what it does is the older systems had to switch between rich and lean. Wideband systems do not. It uses a 2-part oxygen sensor, basically, that can sample 100 times faster. Yep, and so it's a much better system. TPS sensor, which is housed in
the throttle position sensor.
Well, it's more than that. On all new drive-by-wire cars, which everything is now, it has everything on it. So it's got the throttle position sensor in it. It's got the actuator for the throttle blade. It's got, which also does your idle air control. But the TPS sensor is a potentiometer. It's basically a variable resistor. And as you open up the throttle, what it's going to do is read the angle of the throttle blade so that it kind of has an idea, along with some of the other sensors, as to what load the engine's under. So that's important because we're going to change fuel mixture and ignition timing based on what the engine load is. The cam and crank sensor, so your cam sensor reads the position of your cam sensor.
Can you say cam sensor?
Real
softly for me.
No, definitely not.
I'm sorry.
So the cam sensor, you have, it's a Hall effect sensor. It's a magnetic sensor. Basically, reads the position of the camshaft. Jesus.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. Crank sensor is another Hall effect, reads the position of the crank. Hall effect being a magnetic sensor. Basically what they are is it's a magnetic sensor, and there's a reluctor wheel on the cam and the crankshaft that has windows in it that break the magnetic field.
We're talking about alien stuff, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
This is all designed in Area 51.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry.
it breaks that magnetic field and sends a voltage to the PCM, and then the PCM can tell where the vehicle is at, like the cam sensor, where the cam is at, because it's going to use that to time when to fire the fuel injectors. It's going to use the crank to know when to fire the spark plugs. It's also going to use RPM to help when to fire spark plugs and fuel. So those two are kind of key sensors. And then we have a map sensor, uses a vacuum diaphragm potentiometer. Basically, that map sensor stands for manifold absolute pressure sensor, and it's going to measure when a car is at idle, we have a negative pressure in the intake manifold. Most cars are around 18 inches of vacuum. Some a little less, some a little more, depends on cam design, valve overlap, etc. But as you accelerate, you lose vacuum. It goes to zero. And if you're turbocharged or supercharged, it'll actually go past zero and into pressure. There's the sound effects. So we need to know how much load is there on the engine. So we use the map sensor in conjunction with things like the TPS sensor, to determine how much fuel and again how much spark to put into it.
This is so much smarter than what we had previously, which is a cable pulling a throttle body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is the stuff dreams are made of. I mean, really, it's good stuff. We have intake air temperature sensors, which sense the just like the name says, the outside air temperature, because that's going to determine fuel mixture. And actually, if you're a performance guy, that's one of the things that you look at a lot. A lot of times when we're out driving our cars on a warm day, they feel sluggish.
Yep.
Cool day, it feels like a race car. Well, that's intake air temp has changed.
Okay.
Saturday, for whatever reason, I felt it in my Jeep coming home. I don't know if it was heat soaked from being on the trail, but my intake air temps were probably up. So coolant temp sensor. We run the engine in what we call open loop when we first start it up. So we're not using the oxygen sensors. We have a predetermined fuel program. That's why when you start your Jeep up on a cold morning or first thing in the morning, it sounds really cool for a little bit. It's kind of throaty and it's running real rich until we get the oxygen sensor up to temperature and the catalytic converter up to temperature, and then we'll switch it over to closed loop where we're looking at the oxygen sensors to adjust the fuel. The Nox sensor is a piezoelectric sensor, so it's actually a crystal. And the deal is with the piezoelectric crystal, if it vibrates, it creates a voltage.
Yep.
So what we do is we put this in the engine block, and if we have pre-detonation, it's tuned to that frequency of the pre-detonation, meaning that's the air and fuel igniting before the piston hits top dead center. So actually what you hear with pinging is like a rattling from the engine is the air and fuel colliding on the piston, the two fronts colliding. Piston coming up, air and fuel ignited, explosion coming down. You have a collision, creates like a rattling noise in the engine. It's actually the piston vibrating, and that sensor will pick it up. If it picks it up, we pull timing out of the engine, because if that happens too much, you burn holes in the engine. And emissions-wise, it raises one of our emissions pollutant gases, NOx, really high. Not NOS. NOx.
NOS is what you use to go fast.
So those crystals are very similar to the crystals that are used in watches.
Yes.
Because they vibrate at a certain frequency.
Yes.
And in watches, you want them to vibrate in that certain frequency so that they basically keep your timepiece accurate, right?
Yes.
And with these crystals, you don't want them vibrating at a certain frequency until they do, to provide the error.
So they're tuned to that vibration that's created by the knock. Yeah, absolutely.
That's impressive.
It's all about the vibes, man.
Now on some of the newer engines, like the Jeep will use an engine oil temp which is a thermistor. Basically just means what we're looking at is for oil life. If you got on your little readout trip computer, I forget what they call it, what the official name is, but if you go through that, you can see your oil life. It's using oil temp is the main sensor it's using to figure that out. Engine pressure, engine oil pressure. We're using it's the same. It's a diaphragm similar to the map sensor that we're looking at pressure, and we can do things with the engine like we can actually put them in a limp mode if that pressure's off on them. So if it's off for an extremely long time, it'll put the engine in a limp mode, and you don't have. I think it puts you in third gear, second gear, and you have very little throttle input.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So now we take all the information from those sensors, okay, and we determine what we're going to do on the backside. So what are we going to do with things like the fuel injectors, the ignition coils, idle air control, and OCS solenoids, which OCS is the VVT, the electronic.
I hate that
I'm
stuff.
sorry, variable valve timing on the new 3.6 liter. 3.8 liters do not have that. 4 liters do not have that. The fuel injectors, so it's an electric solenoid, and we put fuel behind a pintle, and then we open it up in milliseconds. So at idle, you might be at 10 milliseconds. Okay. Now, as you put your foot in it, RPM increases. We might be up to 35 milliseconds. If you are completely wide open, you may be at 80 milliseconds, referring to how long that pintle is open. So we're not changing necessarily the volume per millisecond, but what we are changing is, how long we're spraying that into the engine. And that's how we get more fuel. And like when you guys put fuel programmers on your cars, one of the things that they're doing is just changing. They're opening that up a little bit. You're making that more rich. So like on mine, what I did was I actually cut a little bit of fuel away. That's why I always joke around. I don't know how long the engine's going to last because it's running lean. Now, lean's more efficient, but it's a much hotter engine. When Billy was beating on it around Wildwood, you could actually smell the engine. So the ignition
sounded really good, though.
It does sound good, yeah. So the ignition coils is what fires our spark plugs. We've got most cars now have coil on plug, means that it's got one coil per every spark plug. Years ago, it had one coil.
They controlled all of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But these coils, so our spark plugs are firing at 55,000 volts. So first job a coil has to do is it's got one winding. I'll make this real simple math. It's got 10 windings in it, and we got 12 volts going into it. And as it travels through that, we collapse that coil into one that has 100. So we multiply it by 1,000. So we've got, I
was told there'd be no math.
There's very little math. This is easy.
All right.
So I'll stop with this. So then we do that. But what we can control, we don't necessarily control the amount, the how strong the spark is, but we do control something called dwell with it, how long it fires.
Okay.
And we can change that a little bit. But the big one is ignition timing. So where are we firing this spark plug? More advanced ignition timing, the more spark you put in it, hotter cylinder, more power you're going to make.
Right.
Base timing on most engines is between 0 to 10 degrees. Max timing, total timing is about 43 degrees. And if you're supercharging or turbocharging, usually you run a little less timing than that. I have mine at 43.5 degrees.
Okay.
And I let the Ocs sensors do their jobs. So you can actually feel it when you're floored, and mine you can feel it pulling the timing in and out.
Yep.
A little bit.
So when I had a coil pack misfire on my cylinder 4.
Yes.
And so replace the coil pack, everything's golden.
Yep.
I mean, I certainly, that's much better than a distributor cap.
Absolutely.
From a maintenance standpoint, right?
Yes.
I didn't have to replace a 1/6.
Right, and they're more accurate.
Yep.
So, timing is more accurately controlled. We don't have as many components. See, that old system we had to have, we had timing. It had to be tied to the engine somehow. Usually they were tied to the engine off the camshaft. So
right.
you had to, you had a gear coming off the camshaft onto the distributor shaft, going up, turning a rotor on the inside, striking windows, and they had to go through plug wires. Well, first of all, it had to come in from a single coil, and then it would travel through the rotor to these like windows in there that would send it out to each individual spark plug.
Right.
It's not super accurate, and we can't control things like dwell and timing as well as we can with individual coils.
Right.
To boot, if that one coil fails, you're screwed.
Yep.
Like you have a coil fail on yours, you were still driving it around.
Ish.
But
it
get you off the trail.
Actually, with 4, it definitely
it
goes into limp mode.
Right.
Yeah. But I think 6 and 1. If you lose 6 and 1,
right,
it'll still go. It'll be a rough ride, but it'll still go. But you know, the others are a little more important in the timing mixture.
Right.
So it will definitely go into a limp mode.
Yep. So,
sounds like you put a soda can in the exhaust.
Yeah, 2 soda cans empty with rocks in them.
Marbles.
Yep. And so we're controlling that depending on what we're seeing with the other sensors. And then we have idle air control, which is basically keeps your vehicle idling. And that's in that throttle mechanism on the side of the throttle.
On the buggy.
Well, you have an idle air control motor, probably is.
It's literally like a plunger that goes in and out.
Yep. My God, you two guys need to get laid.
It's bad tonight. It's bad.
It really is.
Sorry.
I mean, if you guys want to go do your thing,
have a moment.
Yeah, right. Idle air control. Basically, we can control that a little better because when you put on like the AC, it puts an additional load on the engine, and we can add a little more air to keep it idling. If you throw the lights on, the heated seats, and the radio and all the electric stuff, it puts an additional load on the engine. So, we can control that a little bit. And then we have, within that same system, we also control our throttle blade too. So we don't have throttle cables anymore.
Right.
We now have what's called the Accelerator pedal position sensor. It's two sensors. It's a fail-safe product on the gas pedal.
Yeah.
And then it reads, again, they're both potentiometers. It reads voltage and then translates that to the PCM that opens up the throttle blade. So one of the things that is cool that you can do with like HP tuners is you can go in and if you're going out in the trail, you can slow that throttle blade down so you don't accidentally hit it too hard. Right. Yep. Or if you're out in the street, a lot of you guys have the throttle controllers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the name. Which one do you have in your Jeep, Billy?
I have the Hike It.
So you can turn that to a crawl mode or economy mode, which both slows down the throttle blade, or there's a sport mode or performance mode that actually it opens the throttle blade quicker.
And then there's wide open mode.
Yeah. It's a wide open mode, gives you wide open probably.
It's just like you touch it and it just opens up the blade.
Yep. So we have the ability to do that with it as well. And then the last thing we have are the OCS solenoids, basically the VVT solenoids. So we're controlling cam timing on that engine as well. It's a four cam engine, and each cam can be controlled independently. And just like ignition timing, we can advance it or retard the timing on it. Advance it is great down low. When you're up in the upper end, you want to roll that timing back really hard, and it'll create a more efficient engine. It'll breathe a little better up top. So we kind of get the best of both worlds with that system. We can have an engine that's fairly good down low, an engine that pulls pretty hard up top. So like the 4 liters like you have, they're beasts down low. They're so torquey. Yep. They don't rev much past $5,000. I mean, it will, but it's like you watch that tack just goes whoop, and it stops at $5,000. It's like, hold on, please. And, we can. I mean, you guys have been in. Mine doesn't have a rev limiter anymore, so it'll pull to 7,500.
Mm-hmm.
Yours has on and off.
On and off, pretty much. It's probably about. It's not a whole lot extra horsepower. It's just moved everything around, and it's not really how you want a Jeep, but that's the car guy in me. So, but what you have is this brain that uses these inputs to control these outputs.
Yep.
Now, next time, what we'll talk about is how this relates to check engine light stuff.
Yeah.
So you
kind of be almost anything.
Yeah, because you could be any of this stuff and more.
Yep, and more.
So we'll talk about how that works next time. I just wanted everybody to have a basic understanding of how this system works.
Yeah, it's a big deal. As a computer guy, Because this Jeep has a computer, and that's basically what it is. I mean, sometimes that information becomes corrupt, and that you need a full PCM replacement.
Sometimes
or it just needs to turn it off and turn it back on.
Yeah, you just lose the nervous system too.
Sometimes the brain just goes out the window, like mine did
all the time.
About an hour ago.
Yeah, neither you can focus tonight.
No, not at all. But thanks, Dom, for that. We're gonna. I don't know how if we're gonna be able to share these notes in the show notes or not. We'll figure that out. If not, just listen to it 2 or 3 times and try to digest it. That'll be a good way.
Listen to it 2 or 3 times. It's a whole lot better.
I like that. People, I want you to reach out to us. Today is all about you reaching out to us because we have stuff to give away. Man, if you've got a 2-door JK, I've got a red set of roll bar pads for you. If you've got a 2-door JL, I've got a Dirty Dog sunshade for the front part of your Jeep. If you Tread Lightly membership, get those signed up. I've got first 3 listeners get a trash bag. And then get in touch with us. You know how to get in touch with us. info@jeeplifepodcast.com. DM us on any of our platforms. It doesn't matter what platform you want to do that, but get in touch with us. And where else can people find us?
The YouTube.
And
the Facebook.
Everything's on the YouTubes and the Facebooks.
Mm-hmm. And Instagram.
Yeah. Instagram at Jeep Life Pod.
Yeah.
I know I just tagged us in a post today.
I'll probably post some more stuff this week.
I love it. Sign up for Patreon. Help us go to Tennessee.
Help
easier.
us do cool stuff.
Yeah.
For you.
I love it. This stuff doesn't just pay itself. I mean, I pay it, but
I
you pay it
too.
And you pay it. But I would like for
send us
all of us to pay it. So join our Patreon. We do have Patreon exclusive content. Most of the videos go on Patreon first, so you get first dibs at seeing how goofy we are. But I think you just sent out a bunch of hats.
I did. So our first round of hats went out to everybody that's been on the Patreon. We said 3 months.
Yep.
Actually, I do got to grab the stickers from you tonight.
Yep.
To have them, if you have them. Because I'm going to send a round of stickers out, too.
Oh, perfect. And I think we just had somebody on tonight that asked for stickers, and I told them the process to get stickers. So email us and join Patreon. That'll get you a sticker guaranteed.
Yep.
Listener voicemail, 484-891-1172. Call and leave us a voicemail. Let us know how you're doing. We'll play it on air if it doesn't sound dumb. Or if it sounds really dumb, it's going to get played on air. Whatever gets us the laugh or the clicks, we don't care.
Right.
We're in. And then, go to our YouTubes. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging out with us and staying with us and, just making our time. We love doing this, and the interaction on the chat has been awesome tonight. Thanks, everybody, for jumping in there. And Jerry, I know you're listening, so we're going to probably have you on next Sunday to talk some oil products.
Yeah, definitely.
Earl,
because all of our Jeeps, no matter how fancy that
computer is, that's the one thing we can't get away from.
We cannot.
We've stretched everything. We've stretched oil changes too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that. As long as there's moving, reciprocating parts in there, we're going to need Jerry.
We're definitely going to need Jerry. I think that's what I'm going to call. I'm going to do a Jerry change this time. Yeah. That is the new name for Earl. Is no longer Earl.
It's Jerry.
Jerry.
I need a Jerry change.
I love it. Hey, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us and tuning in with us. For Bill, Don, and myself, and Jerry. Here's a big Jeep wave to you, everybody. Have a good night. Woo! Good show.
You off air?
I'm not off air, but we're still alive. We have to say goodbye and thank you to everybody.
I'm tired.
Pain in the ass.
I know.
It was gold. The fact that you were able to stay with it.
Well, because I'm a teacher and I'm used to that.
It was so much fun.
It does make it fun. I love listening to podcasts and getting those little nuggets in there.
In and out. In and out.
We do put this on the explicit area, so
well, it's good.
so we do.
Not made for children.
No, I love it. So thanks everybody again for hanging out with us. Like I said, you guys that watch on live really are our first point of contact, and if things land with you, we'll leave it in, and we can kind of get a read on that. So I appreciate everybody jumping on there.
Just remember, keep rubber side down.
Rubber side down, shiny side up.
Yeah. It ain't shiny right now. It might be a little muddy, but
yes. All right, man. We'll talk to you later. We're gonna hit it.
I need to go eat dinner.
See ya.